We notice the figure and ignore the background. We notice the solid and ignore the space. We notice the relatively moving in smaller object, but we ignore the relatively stationary background. That's with consciousness, with noticing. And so you see, we don't notice that in order to be present, you must also be absent. Because life is an energy system. And energy is something that vibrates. And whatever vibrates goes on and off. So off is as important as on. You can't have anything happening without both. And although they are explicitly different, on and off, they're implicitly one. We call it energy. So if these neglected and ignored features of the world came to our attention, or in some way could impinge upon our consciousness, we should feel very differently than we ordinarily do feel. How would you feel? Well, I can roughly describe it to you. It's a very odd feeling indeed, at first. You feel that what you are doing and what happens to you are the same. You can say of everything that happens to you, I'm doing it. And of everything that you are doing is that it happens to me. When you are acting, what your environment does and what you do are the same process. So when you feel that, it's very odd. You feel as you walk up a hill, the hill is lifting you. That a lot of people go crazy with this because they suddenly say, well, I'm God. I'm doing everything.
You go higher, you go even more alone. Why? Because nobody is willing anymore to invest their energy in going higher, because it's becoming more difficult. They say, oh, it's already okay here. Why you still want to move up there? The air is getting thinner over there. It's getting more hard to breathe. It's getting more dangerous, whatever. So that means along this way, the higher you want to go, the more likely you're gonna walk alone.
The more you shine, the more shadows you cast.
Yes. I make it very, let's make it very graspable. I have always been a person who prefers harmony. I prefer harmony. I always try then to figure out, okay, what can I do in order to bring harmony into this group? Ask. I just realized for myself what I'm wishing for is impossible. Which means no matter with what type of intention I'm trying to bring out these things, I can very well understand why the suffering in this world, according to our Buddha who is sitting behind us, he said, it is greed, hate, and ignorance. That fits extremely well. The thing is, I can't change anything about the greed of other people. I can't change anything about the hate that people feel. I can only change something about myself. And with this sentence, I just realized the higher I started to, it's a nice picture. I felt like walking up a mountain. Why? Because the higher I walk the mountain, the more I can speak out and the whole valley is going to hear it. That's why, in a way, it makes sense to be on top of the hill. Because from there, if you shout, the complete valley is going to hear it. At the same time, the higher you climb the mountain, the more difficult it becomes to breathe. So there's something which goes hand in hand there. You want to reach more people, okay, but at the same time, it's gonna become more difficult. Along the way to mastery, you walk the way alone. This is not my sentence. But self-mastery, mastering something, is always about yourself. And if you want to master yourself, well, you're gonna challenge and face yourself, and this is happening alone. It's too heavy. You put too much in your backpack, it's difficult to climb anywhere. And this is the point about why formlessness is the beginning of everything. It's not meta-based.